You've been bad.
I'm angry. Whatever is coming from my
Take
computer
care of yourself.
is not supposed to
Like
penetrate
you
through my
should.
apron. Very scary.
Whether this is real food,
Oh my god. That's the dinosaur.
real life.
That's my 13-year-old. Hi, I'm Tamara Yap. I'm with Real Food, Real Life, and I have the pleasure to have Lawrence Guest with me today. And he is a building biologist.
What I'm here to do today is to be certain that the environment is free of mold growth. You can measure it in the floor of the cabinet with this meter, which is a moisture meter. Can you see the green lights? It'll tell you whether there's moisture in the wood. That would be caused by inappropriate water coming into the home. Could be moisture issues with the slab. One of the places you see it is in the cabinets. Could be pipe leaks, could be sewer leaks, could be leaks from water coming into the home due to poor drainage outside the house. Many times watering practices or poor drainage near the house where water is running up against the foundation of the house. It can be picked up by the concrete slab the house is built on, and then it comes through the concrete slab and affects carpeting or the flooring. We've had rain for the last day or so that would probably make that condition show up.
So what room are we going into now?
I've just been doing the kitchen looking for whether or not there's any problems with mold. This is a moisture detector. It lets you see water in materials, and a nice neat thing about this device is actually it'll look at moisture below the surface. Like for instance, I'm moist. It goes up to 90%. We know my body's full of water, and so the meter will determine that. And so I can scan along pieces of wood, and I can see exactly what the moisture level is. And of course, wood contains some moisture because there's humidity in the air, and today with all the rain, it's slowly moving up. You see the green lights are registering the level of moisture in the wood, but it probably would never get over 14, 15%. If it was having a problem with moisture, then it would go much higher than that. You can obviously smell if a house is moldy. The cabinets don't smell, they don't have elevated moisture levels.
Or you see the black growing up
If
the
you
walls,
see the black,
right?
although frankly, that's very, very advanced stage of mold growth, and you can actually see it because molds are invisible. We're not seeing any change in that. They can be growing on surfaces and be invisible. So the moisture level is about 11 to 13%. Homes that have been in high humidity conditions shut up with no air circulation, they become pervasively moldy, but when you walk into them, you can't see anything.
Interesting.
It's just growing on the surfaces.
Is that mostly saying, let's say, Southern California where it's not so wet?
We find this in beach communities where houses aren't occupied.
Yeah, they always smell kind of like,
Right,
like a cedar chest.
The wonders of air circulation. We can use the moisture meter and scan the flooring area here. I'm going to do that by lifting up the carpeting. We're always looking to make sure that there's no leakage coming from the sinks. You want to make sure that there's nothing dripping into the cupboard space under here. We can look for like green deposits on the connection. This is where, where the water connects to the faucet. Floors, by the way, they have no windows. They have roofs. The roofs are never closed, and the trade winds blow, and the air blows through the dwellings. And as long as that's happening, mold's not a problem. But if you put a door on a closet and close the closet's pervasively. When you open the top and you go, whoa. A lot of places have got like green cake deposits on there showing that they're actually slowly oozing.
Put your clothes and then you put the clothes on.
Yeah, so you need to maintain circulation. That seems to really drastically reduce mold. I also like to look at the bottom of this elbow, which is part of the drain system, because a lot of times there's leakage coming down here from the sink and dripping off the bottom of that, and you can see water stains from where it's been running for months. You don't see anything like that here. I look underneath here to make sure that we're not getting anything coming through wood under here from the sink, and everything is dry.
So this would be a great thing to do before you remodel, or before you build a house, or before you buy a home.
When we want to take a look at the shower, we want to make sure that the grouting, the seal between the wall and the floor down here is actually tight. And we want to make sure that the fixture here, there's actually some sealing between the plate back here and the wall so that water from the shower isn't running back behind the plate and then behind the shower. This is all nicely sealed. When the toilet is connected to the floor, which is where the water goes out, we can use this to actually scan the floor and look to see if there's any abnormal levels of moisture. And so the answer is no. The conclusion is there's no hidden leak. So the moisture level is about 11 to 13%, which would be normal. Principally, it's those molds. You know, they were here before we came. So it kind of shows that there is an elevated level of water in the slab. Let's say marginal. You wouldn't want it to be any higher than that. Priests of the temple were actually mold inspectors in those days. No issues with moisture coming up from under the floor, and there's no leaks that we can actually see in here. And they would, go to people's homes when there was mold growth on the walls,
And they're acting crazy.
They would do their thing to decide how it would be handled. They kind of had their stuff together back then.
Yeah,
Which is what we're doing. We're kind of like doing that today, but
exactly.
it appears to be a pretty good house.